Welcome back to the Roland GRIMES, the Not Just Sports Entertainment Show, shooting here at the Old Angler Inn in Potomac, Maryland. My good friend here, Gary Clark, and of course, my co-host, Mr. Self Palmer, Wilbur Skipper. Gary, look, want to kind of dovetail some stuff we talked about a little bit earlier. Want to jump right into it. Skip had mentioned this concept of transitioning from one industry into another. Look, you may have been involved with football maybe 25, 30 years of your life. All of a sudden that ends for whatever reason, and then you move into something else. Now, I know that myself and many of my colleagues are having trouble, have had a lot of trouble making that transition. And of course, many of us have read stories about many of, especially football players, who have gone through some very, very depressive times, and it caused breakup of their family, in some cases loss of life. When you go around the circuit and you talk to some of the guys that were involved with you in the sport when you were playing and after, what kinds of things are happening right now with them and with us, and what can we do to put ourselves in a better position to transition a little bit more effectively?
Well, I mean, it's definitely, it is a transition. I mean, you've been doing something from the time you was a kid to the time, sometimes in your 20s, 30 years of age, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, time comes around for you to start training again, and right. You know what, there's really nothing that you're really training for. And
now, how old were you when your career?
I guess I was around 33, I want to guess. 33,
and that's about the same time that many people's careers are just starting.
Beginning.
Yours is ending.
So
what does that do to you?
It makes you take a breath, because you have to sit down and reevaluate, what's my next step, where do I go from here, what do I do. Unfortunately for most athletes, football players, basketball players, baseball players themselves, we're very used to our own schedule, quite honestly. You know, don't get me wrong, we have our weeks where we start our season. Football season is basically, the season itself is 16 to 20 weeks. That's it, 16 to 20 weeks. The rest of that time is your time to manage yourself, prepare yourself, do the things, but it's on your schedule. A lot of people have to start going to work for another company. To move forward, you go to work with another company, and it's on their schedule. There's someone else telling you what to do, and they don't really care about your opinion. And so to be able to manage that becomes hard sometimes. Some guys truly, truly miss the game because they played it so long. I mean, they just truly miss it. They miss the accolades that come along with it. Some guys miss, you know, the clapping and the applause, everything that comes along with it. Some people miss, you know, signing the autographs, doing the things that allows you to stand out in a community that you're the 1%. You're 1% of the population can do it. That's why people are showing you these accolades to start with, because they can't do what you can do. And then all of a sudden that's gone, and it takes on a dramatic fact. But it hits everybody differently, I believe. Some guys, you know, feel like they can't go on anymore. You know, unfortunately, I think a lot of it also has to do, especially in the football realm thing, is the contacts that you get. You know, like, there's no player, honestly, that can say they never had a concussion, whether it be mild or something in football, because let's face it, we're banging heads. You know, you're banging heads every day from the time that you're, you know, pee-wee until the time you're varsity, college, professional.
Man, I got a headache just talking about it.
You know, exactly. Especially, you know, running backs. You're either blocking or you're running the ball every play. So you got contact every play. Linemen, every play, no matter what. You know, I mean, there's certain positions that are going to get it a lot more. Receivers, we're probably fortunate. We don't get it as much in terms of every play, because sometimes I can run a defensive back off and be no contact. If he's playing me man to man, I'm just going to run him off. I don't have to block him. It's a self block. But even to the standpoint, fortunately, I did go across the middle a lot. I got my bell rung several times, and there's times when you know, Ricky Art had to kind of just point me in the right direction until I got my bearings back. Because that's just what it was. I didn't know where I was, but it's just a dramatic effect, I think, because you've been doing something for so long, and now that's not what you do anymore. That's not what you're known for anymore. I mean, I don't care what part of your career that it ends at. You've been doing it that whole time. I don't care if you've been playing Little League and it ends after high school. Still look at the amount of years you've been doing it.
That's
6, 7, 8 years.
It's a lot of time
and
put
the time
in.
you put into it. And I think mostly what I think most players miss is the brotherhood.
Yes, the
that's
camaraderie.
found. I mean, because that's what
you
we
can't
enjoy
duplicate
most
that.
about the game.
You
Exactly. You miss being in. It's a big boys club. On the football side of things, for the most part, it's usually just a big boys club. You know, we do the silliest stuff that grown men shouldn't be doing. You know, I mean,
It's a
stuff that
part
we
of
did,
the sport.
stuff we did as the kids, even to the towel flick still. I mean, we're doing towel flick still. Well, with grown men in our 20s and 30s, we're still flipping the towel at people. You know, I mean, just different things.
Now, this
that
is
allow
real,
us to
folks.
do. You know,
This is live.
you
It's
know.
330
And, you know, I
pound
gotta
people.
tell you. Exactly.
Swirlies in there.
And it's
I
true.
mean, I always tell people, I said, you know, I love the guys I played college football with because I took showers with them. And then people look at me and they kind of don't know how to get their minds around that. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, I can't front on you if we slept in the same dorm,
Right.
we ate from the same table, we took showers in the same shower.
Right.
I mean, what is it that I can tell you about myself that you don't know? So I can't front on you like,
Completely
hey, dude.
exposed, as you said.
This only happens on the Roland
I'm just
Grimes,
saying,
not
look,
just sports
I'm
entertainment
saying,
show.
so brotherhood is a great way to put it because it's like, Gary, look, man, and I say something to you sideways out my neck, you gonna look at me like, Roland, come on. like, come on, I know better. And I'm like, all right, dude, you're right. You know what I mean? So the myth isn't true. I'm sorry.
But even taking that, like you're saying, where for us, taking that laughter to another state,
Right.
in the corporate world, that's all it says is not as funny and it's pleasing.
know what?
You know, if
It's
I come
not.
in and I do
You
that,
tell that joke.
I can't come and smack my boss on top of the head in the corporate world. They kind of look at me differently, like, "Why you're fired? Why are you slapping me on the
You
head?"
got a good point. Skip, look, we're going to take a station
Sure.
break. Hold that question.
Sure.
We're going to come back. Hey, folks, we're going to do this on the quick. Roland Grimes Sports Entertainment Show. Be right back at you in a few minutes. Sit tight. Thank you. Hey, folks, thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Roland Grimes, not just sports and entertainment comedy hour. We have our good friend here, Mr. Gary Clark. Skip, I'm going to put this in between my legs, do the crossover dribble, and I'm going to chest pass this to you.
And before I
In
get
the
into
shower,
this,
he's going to do that.
a 30-footer from the shower.
He's going to hit it. He's going to hit 30-footer, falling in the shower. You know, the landscape has changed.
It has. It has.
You know, there's some things that happened in the last year. We can't have shower jokes like
That's
we
right.
used to.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
so Skip,
I'm
that's
leaving
right.
that
That's
alone.
right. Absolutely.
All right, Skip, alley-oop to you, big
Alley-oop
brother.
to me. Okay, I'm ready to take it for Roland. Gary, when I was pursuing my ultimate goal and dream, which was to become an NBA basketball player, I had a pretty good career. I missed the NBA by one fraction of a second with
You're on honor records in
76.
Southern Maryland.
Right.
Yes, you do.
I had some-
I do my research.
Okay,
man.
I had some good times playing basketball. Now, one of the things that Roland and I talk about often, and I'm going back to the transitioning piece, is because when I was pursuing basketball, the NBA was my goal. So I had to put in a lot of effort and work, had to have good work habits and good people around me to get to that level, or close to that level, rather. I have been able to take, and it's just me personally, the NBA work ethic and pull it into life after basketball. Can you talk a little bit about why that is somewhat of a problem for some of the athletes? And it's a two-part question. And then can you talk a little bit about how important mentorship is?
I think, for the most part, I think it may be a problem because it is a transition. I think sometimes until they get into a transition, they can't get over the transition, so they still kind of stay in the fact that I'm an NBA star, I'm a Major League Baseball star, I'm an NFL star, and now that's over, but I'm still trying to be that star, and that light is just, you're always going to be that star, but the light's not going to shine as bright on you anymore. I don't care who you are. I mean, eventually it fades. So, I mean, what I've found so far is those people that were very good at their game itself eventually makes the transition. Those guys that kind of stood out in that venue, they kind of do eventually, not all of them, but they do make that transition because they go back to what made them, like you did, made them a good basketball player, made me a good football player, made us a good football player. And that's what I had to go back to, okay, because once you go back to those things, I still believe it's nothing better than an athlete.
Yeah.
We multitask all the time. We have to be one of the smartest creatures on the earth because there's so much. I mean, look at our playbook.
Yeah.
Our playbook is this thick, and you always have to know what the other person is doing before they do it to you.
Yeah.
So we automatically are natural strategists. So when I sit back and I looked at that, I was like, wait a minute, I got everything working for me. I just need to put this to work. And then if most athletes start a business for themselves, they tend to do better than actually working with a company sometimes, in my opinion.
No, and having said that, Skip, what kinds of things can be put in place, or are there things in place where we can work with the youngsters, college age, student athletes, and also pros as they leave, to help them to integrate those strategies that they do naturally or developed on the field into the working world? Is there any kind of a groundbreaking or any kind of
Like you need a forum. I
developmental
mean,
side?
y'all show, quite honestly, could be a start of a forum for individuals looking to do that, because the key is having the knowledge beforehand. Even
Right, 'cause you have to plant the
even when you're
seed long
coming out of
before,
college,
right?
you know, to
Okay.
know that, you know, all of a sudden a camera's going to be stuck in your face, and now you have to speak into this camera, into millions of people, and then everything that you've said is out there now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, having the educational, okay, here's a camera in your face, you're speaking to the camera. Now, realize everything you say is going to be on camera and broadcasted to everybody. Now you have to think about what you're going to say before you say it a lot of times.
Yeah, and if I can add on to that, because I think that's a great point. One of the things, Roland, that I would like to see happen is, and obviously starting with our show, the 6 Ps. You know, proper planning prevents poor performance, and then throw in the number 6, which is preparation. And I think if you throw those 6 Ps in, somewhere in there, a professional athlete or a collegiate athlete that may not get to the next level, whatever the case may be, there's enough room in there for something to happen early, so that when they make that transition, it'd be a lot easier.
I agree.
You know, that's a real good point. I know that when we close the show, there will be invariably a bunch of questions that are going to come up that I wish I had asked. You know, things are going to resonate in my mind as I talk to other people. I said, man, I wish I had said this to Gary. So if it's okay with you guys, I want to start to put together some forums where we can have the Gary Clarks and people who are ancillary to the professional sports market and who are now out of it, so that we can have some of these conversations, maybe put some of those platforms in place moving forward, because as long as we sit around waiting for other people to do it.
Oh, it's not going to happen. I mean, I agree, and I'm very fortunate that there's some business people, and I think it's very important too with athletes that they meet these business people that are great business people.
Absolutely.
And help the athletes, because there's a lot that we can offer to business people,
Yes,
and there's a lot
I
that
see
business
that.
people can offer to us, and there's actually one of our clients work with one of the law firms, Kelly Bella. She's putting together what she calls an executive huddle, where you have these executives from the business world meet with the different athletes from, a lot of will be former players, to help say, okay, how do we grow your business, and how can you help us become like you guys and having a great business and growing a substantial business.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great
Right.
start. I'm listening, Skip.
Now,
I see your mind.
as I'm sitting here listening, there's
Skip's forehead is coming together.
a ton
so I
of
know
things
it's-
that are going through my mind, as always. But then now I'm narrowing it down to something that I think may be a great idea. At least I think it is. You and Roland may not you may
It's
disagree.
already,
I
it's already
disagree.
better than Roland talking about the shower.
Right, exactly. Okay, so I get a brownie point. It's better than the shower joke.
Yeah,
okay.
right over
All
my
right.
head.
But what I'm thinking, from firsthand experience, is that I've had the opportunity to attend one of your networking sessions, okay, at the Verizon Center. And I came down, and it was a great place to be. You had business people there, and we were intermingling and having fun. What about potentially, if that happens again, or when it happens, the Roland Grimes show, possibly coming in,
Not a problem.
getting some footage of what you just said.
Oh, not a
You
problem.
have the athletes that come, because you had a lot of Redskins, former players that were there, and they were intermingling with business people that didn't play sports or didn't play in the NFL. What about bringing a format together like that to showcase that? And now we have the best of both worlds. We have the athletes coming in, and then we have the business people. I don't think it gets too much better than that.
We
Just
would
as a
love-
thought.
We would love to do that. I mean, because anytime you have a forum, especially, and let's face it, most people like cameras. They like that brought into the room. They respond to that when it's brought into the room. Everybody, quote unquote, likes their 15 minutes, so to speak. And this is a 15-minute that can truly help everybody. So, I mean, I'm definitely open to whatever you guys are looking to do.
Super. Okay, as we close, you were saying to me off camera a little bit about being involved with litigation to some extent, or supporting businesses?
Well,
What does that
basically,
mean?
we have Gridiron Court Reporting, which is basically a court reporting company. Lawyers who litigate, we have people that come in, court reporters that come in and take their depositions and things like that. And it's just another aspect that we add to our Gridiron Business Network, as we say, in terms of one of our clients in the industry that we can target and work with.
Now, in your Gridiron Business Network,
Mm-hmm.
are you limited to certain geography? Are you limited to certain populations? Kind of how do you target market, or what is the market for the services that are
Well,
provided?
typically, the way I've started so far has typically been in markets that have touched me so far in my life. So, we're in Roanoke, we're doing some stuff in Harrisonburg, we're doing some stuff in West Virginia. Of course, we're here in the DC market. But because of my network, in terms of players allow us to kind of be everywhere.
Yeah.
Because our former players and our former players network are kind of everywhere, and there's business everywhere. So basically, we're just trying to bring a society together of business people who work together, learning each other's business, learning how to do business with you, send business to you, send business to me. It's just a nice referral network of people looking to work together where we build a society that makes it better for everyone involved.
It's a win-win situation for everybody.
No doubt whatsoever.
Now, some of the folks who are watching now who may want to connect with you to learn more about, what is a good way for them to do that?
It's probably just best to go to my website. If you go to my website, there's a way that you can contact myself or some of my associates. If you just go to www.gridironbusinessnetwork.com, you'll find us there, and you'll see what our society is about. And it's just a good business model. Very
All right,
fortunate.
Skip, we're going to put a link on our website to them, and we're going to have some strategies.
See, he was more vocal, and it was the girl sitting up here putting a link on that site. I was trying to figure
I
out.
asked his permission for that one. This one I didn't ask for
No, he did too, but he was more, but absolutely, I got an absolutely out of it.
Gary
Well,
Clark-
I'm empowered
Larry
by
Clark
this
starts
interview,
stuff.
so we're going to do it. I have been empowered.
Gary Clark
Do I
starts
have to bring a
stuff.
wig on? What is it? I have to call my name Samantha? Do I have to be Jody? What do I have to do to get it done?
I think
I just want a link, just a little link.
you missed that opportunity, brother.
I think he's going back to
Some
something.
of your X and Y, some of your daddy's X and Y chromosomes. you missed that boat. You got to
Man.
get on the next one. Hey, folks. Well, my
All
main
we gotta be
man.
on the boat.
Well, before Roland closes out, let me just say that's what makes the Roland Grimes Not Just Sports and Entertainment show so unique. There's no other show like this, folks. None.
Just to say, I'm Roland Grimes. And we're leaving here today. I'm working on that, man. I'm working on that.
All right, Skip, thanks for the commercial. Gary, you can borrow the voice whenever you want. All right. Hey, folks, on behalf of everybody on the planet that's in this room right now, we want to thank you once again for tuning in to the Roland Grimes Not Just Sports and Entertainment show. My main man, Gary Clark. Hey, follow our website, follow our shows. We're going to keep it moving. Hey, Skip, always a pleasure working with you. Gary, great. Just kicking this new relationship off.
Pleasure.
Absolutely.
All right, Gridiron,
Thank you guys for having me.
Gridiron Business Network.
That's it.
All right, I shook his hand, and he has this 19-pound ring on his finger. We're gonna take a picture of it and put it on our website.
It's not a bad pinky ring.
Not a bad at all. I wanted to get one of those, but Joe Gibbs told me that I was a little too fat and a little too slow. So
He just said in time. He just said in time. He didn't say that.
hey, Joe, I love you anyway. Hey, folks, God bless. We'll be back in touch with you soon. Signing off, Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports Entertainment show. Have a great one. Wow, priceless.
My pleasure, guys.
Hello. My name is Dr. Arthur McClinu. I've dedicated my life to providing surgical care to patients with heart disease. My life began in the slums of Soweto in South Africa, where I learned to overcome adversity and illnesses, including the death of my best friend. That's why I want to be a resource for you and your family for consultation related to heart and cardiovascular needs. You can learn more about me by visiting my website, which is at zuluchescutter.com.